Ladies and gentlemen, we're here in the mezzanine of the Dallas Hilton with a few celebrities from the track and field world. Let's look upon them this afternoon. Jay Woods, one of the up-and-coming distance stars, the United States Olympic team. Note the well-defined right bicep, as well as the muscular features of his lower and upper leg. Also, he has a new shoe, sock with a hole in the toe. His mustache has been known to drive women insane. Next, we move on to the glamorous and charming wife of Doug Padilla. That's Lynette Padilla. Lynette has been on the traveling scene now for a little over 8 months, and she loves the glamorous life. This is stupid. Note also the girls in the background who do not want to be in the picture, but most gracefully looking over anyway. Next we move on to Gary Morton. Gary from Zimbabwe, Africa. So the people say, is having a marvelous time. It's been rumored that Gary is expecting an upcoming wife in a few short months. Gary ran a tremendous 800 meters or 880 yards at a time of an amazing time of 144, establishing a new 154, excuse me, establishing a new Zimbabwe world record. Last but not least, we have Philip Peterson.
I train with him every day.
Don't let him fool you, folks. He doesn't know how to read. No, Phil was the amazing, stupendous, energetic two-miler that which rapid the 2-mile last night in the Dallas Times. Phil came through in a tremendous 4:18, was unable to maintain the pace. About to receive several $1,000s for his performance. And with it, he bought a new jacket and a new flat tie, which is very...
Not to mention my pen.
Well, that about wraps things up here in the mezzanine of the Dallas Hilton. It's been a pleasure to be with you, and we hope that you'll be joining us next week when we meet in Los Angeles for... No, I guess you'll be... Where are you going to be, Doug?
New Jersey.
In New Jersey for the weekly Runners Show. Thanks.
Bye. Do you get a little camera there with this chair here?
Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Abbas. What you say is the Abbas. I'll show you what the Abbas is. The Abbas is a new breakthrough in leather goods. The Abbas has been said and quoted by the New York Times to be the ultimate leather experience. The Abbas, a must for all those leather-carrying guys. With me, I have Doug Padilla. Yes, the one and only Doug Padilla, the best 5,000 meter runner in the world at this present day. We're fortunate to have Doug with us. We only had to pay him 25 grand for this exclusive interview. But we wish to talk to him about his plans in the running future and plans for after his running career. So if his wife can be so kind to take the camera, we will have that interview that you've been waiting for, as well as I, Doug Padilla. Thanks for joining us today. I'm here with Douglas Floyd Padilla, world-class runner extraordinaire. And today we're going to ask him a few questions about his past, his present, and his ever increasingly exciting future. Doug, how long have you been into running?
I've been running for a good 12 years.
Did you find that you were an immediate success in running, or was it something that you had to gradually work into?
I really had to work at it for a while. I could ever have a real future in running.
And do you feel like you've reached your potential, or you still have a little ways to go?
I'd like to, but I can continue to improve. Improve my time, improve my performance.
Great. And improve his performances he has, ladies and gentlemen, as he's lowered his outdoor time in the mile from 5:10 that he ran as a freshman in high school to an amazing 3:56, I think, presently. And of course we know of his exploits in the 5,000 meters. And it's been rumored, Doug, that you're thinking of running the 10,000 meters in perhaps the '88 Olympics after your astonishing, we all know about it, the gold medal performance in Los Angeles in the 5,000. Is it true that you're thinking of moving up to the 26th lapper, or are you going to concentrate on 5,000?
Gotta heard a cat.
Okay.
I don't know, I screwed up by saying that.
I don't know, it'd be awful difficult to move up to that long of a race, but then I always was a person who enjoyed a challenge, so I could improve, reach the potential that's supposed to be within.
That's one thing that I've noticed whenever I've talked to world-class athletes, this inner drive, this challenge that elicits within them, that always makes them reach out for the very best. Doug, let's reflect back now to the championships in track and field, which were held in Helsinki. Doug, there you ran 5,000 meters. Tell us a little bit about the race. And so kind as to inform us a little bit about the 5,000 meters in Helsinki. How did you feel about it?
I felt really good about my performance in Helsinki. I went through the trials and made the last qualifying spot in the first round and the second round, trying to conserve as much energy as I could. And I was in pretty good position going into the last part of the final of 5,000. But there at the end, somehow I just came up with the lead legs and watched people run away from me. And should have been running from me.
Now, Doug, do you feel like going into an Olympic year now, that type of performance, I'm not indicating that it was a bad performance, I'm sure all America was proud to see the red, white, and blue come in as well as it did in the 5,000, but do you feel that that performance will serve as an impetus to push you and propel you forward, to motivate you, let's say, to a stronger performance in Los Angeles this summer?
I hope so. Whenever a Russian beats you, you always want to do better. And especially here, good American soil where we have the Russians, and hopefully we can just take it to them.
Doug, would you say that you hate the Russians?
No, no. I do not hate the Russians. Maybe a strong dislike, but I do not hate the Russians.
I've always been fascinated by their furry hats and boots. Have you ever worn such attire?
No, I've always been fascinated by their sharp elbows.
Well, now let's move on to the present. Doug, you've been running fantastically indoors, as well as we all know from your performance last night in the Dallas meet. How did you feel about your race, and how did the race progress?
In the Dallas meet?
Yeah.
That race was kind of an unpredictable race. The only part that went really smoothly was the first part where we had the services of that fine rabbit, Phil Peterson.
Let's enumerate on that a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. Last night, going into the race, fortunately the designated rabbit was forced to withdraw. I'm not sure his problem. I think he was arrested for drunken driving, something like that. But anyway, at the last minute, we had to ask the services of a relatively new runner by the name of Phil Peterson. And Phil just did a fantastic job in rabbiting. He's now feeling like a fool for calling around the ground in his suit. But he did an
Perhaps we can
incredible
get Phil
job.
over here and talk to him a little bit.
That'd be fine. Phil, could you come in and join us here and let's talk run? Phil, tell us, is this the first time you've ever rabbited such a field?
Yes, it is. This is the first.
Now tell me, going into this type of run with 20,000 people watching, weren't you a little bit nervous that maybe you'd go too fast, like 4:05 for the first mile, and screw up as a rabbit? Or?
Well, to be honest with you, it was tactically trying to figure out how to pace myself without going up too fast and too slow.
Do you feel like as a rabbit last night that you achieved your purpose?
Yes, I think I did a sufficient job for the first time. I credit my performance as a rabbit to before the race shortly before the race, I asked Jay Woods for a few tactic instructions.
Jay Woods.
Jay, let's get Jay over here.
Jay, come join us in Let's Talk Run. Jay on my right. Jay, we recently talked with Phil Peterson, and he accredited his fine performance as a rabbit in yesterday's race to you. Jay, what do you have to say about that? What have you done to influence Phil's life as a rabbit?
Well, I had a short discussion with Phil last night before his race, and I was rabbiting in Europe last summer, and I told him some of the key things that I'd learned to help me run while I was rabbiting.
And tell us, Jay, what are some of those key things that any rabbit must know in rabbiting a race?
Yep, like Karen.
Some things that you've obviously learned in your on the running scene now.
Always make sure that you can hear the splits as you're going out, and the first quarter should be preferably right on pace, or maybe a half second to a second too fast. It's bad to start out too slow because you have to make up the time later on in the race.
Good. And what would happen if one would, by accident, one would not hear the splits?
I carry my watch. I run with my watch when I'm rabbiting and look at it myself.
Fantastic. Jay, what are your plans for the future, and what have you been doing recently?
Well, I've gone on a few dates the last 6 months.
Really? This is the inside story. Jay Woods that you never know. Could you
Maybe in the next track meet I'll be able to room with Doug and listen to my
In other words, Lynette, any words you'd like to direct to Lynette? I'm sure she's watching out there. So.
Hi, Lynette.
Lynette, Jay does not want you to go on the next trip, so he can room with Jay. Okay.
So there you have it.
Abbas. A-B-A-S. For your leather needs. The ultimate leather experience. Now, let's go back with the video. Thank you, Phil and Jay. Now, Doug, going into the Olympic trials and the Olympic Games, what are you going to do to mentally prepare yourself for that challenge?
I think I'll think about the race and plan what would be the best type of strategy to get through it and run well.
Who do you anticipate as being your toughest challenge, per se, in the Olympic finals there in Los Angeles?
Well, first you have to get to the meet and worry about the Olympic trials with the team.
That's true.
I had some really big people that I'm really concerned about in the Olympic trials. There's one individual in particular who he may go the marathon, perhaps he'll go the 10,000, but I'm very fearful that he'll step down to 5,000. And that's a distance runner at BYU by the name of
Lynn Whitecott.
No,
Yes,
Ed
ladies and gentlemen.
Eyestone. Ed Eyestone is just a frightening runner. He's so strong. He can go out and run 61s forever.
Wow. Well, maybe we'll be hearing more about this incredible runner, but we'll just have to wait and see how his performance goes in the Olympic trials and marathon. Well, this certainly has been an enlightening experience here in the Let's Talk
I've enjoyed
Run.
it very much, Ed. It's been a delightful time. We're glad that you were able to come out and join us here in the mezzanine of the Dallas Hilton.
Well, thank you. It's been my privilege, really. Is there anything, any last comment that you'd like to direct to our young viewers at home, viewers who maybe like yourself are contemplating a running career?
I'd like to remind them of the fine job that Abbas has done to help us to bring these type of information to you.
That's true. Abbas, the ultimate in leather experience, soon to come out with a new leather running short. I'm sure you'll be watching for that. Well, that about wraps it up here in the mezzanine of the Dallas Hilton. It certainly has been we certainly have enjoyed talking with you this afternoon. And we hope that you'll join us next week, where we'll be in New Jersey with some, once again, world-class distance runners. Until then, goodbye.